Number 69, Christopher Harrell. Number 88, Vegeta. And number 9, Christopher Smith. Magic City will be wearing the dark green with gold trim, and the Gatekeepers will be wearing white with green trim as well as gray trim on the sides of their uniforms. 2 30-minute periods of derby coming at you.
And we are off to a fast start as Magnum PIMP trying to work his way through. He's going to be lead jam to start this game off. Gatekeepers doing some nice work, right? Oh, Neil Death Experience exerting his influence early.
And Token tried the high wire act in the middle, will be called for cutting the track, which really cost them in their last game was penalties. In fact, Token fouling out of that one. Magnum PIP, meanwhile, working from the outside, got rubbed back and being dragged behind by Chef.
So nice work by Magic City cycling Magnum all the way back. That took a lot of time off that power jam. 5 more points for the Gatekeepers, 10 so far this jam.
3 walls set up by the Gatekeepers, trapping in Opie. Goating him in the back of the pack. And 4 more points on the board for St. Louis. They will draw all of the blood in the first jam. And that is 14 points. 28 minutes, 30 seconds to go in the first of 2 30-minute periods.
These two teams have faced off 3 times previously. Back in September 26th of 2010, the Gatekeepers came away with a 170-143 win over the Magic City Misfits. At the MRDA Championships on 10/22/11, the Gatekeepers fell 145-170. And then just recently last year, the Gatekeepers won 240-114. So we'll see if Magic City can tie this series up here today.
Debaucherous Prime jamming for the Gatekeepers. Michael Bratz for the Misfits. Debaucherous Prime lead jammer.
So far, the Gatekeepers showing no signs of slowing down after their game yesterday against Mont Royals. It's amazing what a good night's sleep will do for you.
It's true. And not having to play 2 bouts in one day. That'll wear you out as well. Debaucherous Prime Grand Slam. And a star pass received by the Misfits' Christopher Smith. Smith is now in scoring position. Jam called off by Prime. Another point on the board for St. Louis. Nice run to begin things. 20-0. Around 3 minutes ticked off the clock.
Magic City with some new faces on that jammer rotation since they've lost TJ Binkley, Streak, and Chuck Best. Pretty much a whole brand new rotation this year for the Magic City Misfits, and we'll see how that pans out here as this game carries on.
Donning the star for the Gatekeepers, Shane Bauer. Another one of those dangerous weapons, but he's currently being held at bay by the Misfits, who also spring forth their jammer, Kendall Hand. Hand now patiently waiting at the back of the pack to find his spot. Hand gets knocked to the inside, works his way back outward, and then faces a collision. 3 players recycling in and out, keeping Hand at bay. Gatekeepers spring their jammer. They are now in scoring position. Both teams able to put points on the board.
However, a track cut call on number 21, Kendall Hand, and that's going to be a power jam again for Shane Bauer and the Gatekeepers.
Bauer's got the door cracked open. Let's see if the Magic City penalty kill is up to snuff as Bauer's about ready to meet a sea of green shirts, dips around, stays in on the outside, and takes another 5 points. St. Louis dominating early, 25-0.
So a fast start here for the Gatekeepers, helped out by a couple of power jams.
Kendall Hand returns. He, again, is in scoring position for the Misfits. See some work at the rear of the pack by Beastie to try to bust that three wall that the Gatekeepers have implemented to much success. 4 points for the Gatekeepers. That's Shane Bauer continuing to stack them up, and another penalty assessed to St. Louis. And that'll be Monster Jam heading out.
Both Monster Jam and the Saint now sitting in the penalty box, so a lot of room out there. A 4-on-2 pack advantage in favor of Magic City in the pack. And that jam comes to its natural conclusion. Magic City puts some points on the board. 9 points there for Magic City.
Good work on the interior. Saw Chef at the end there, also Vegeta holding the inside line, springing their jammer for one more. Good penalty kill by the Gatekeepers. They gave up 9 points, but ended up outscoring their opponent on that jam. So 38-9, Gatekeepers with the lead.
And now Handrail seeing his first action here at this year's spring roll. Jamming for St. Louis.
Pardon me, Hammer. Quad and Dirty, lead jammer. He will be sent off on a low block. Cutting the track is the call, and it's now a race to the penalty box. Whoever sits down, that will be Misfits, and they will be sprung early, and the Gatekeepers jammer will serve an equal amount of time. That jammer's Handrail, who is now out and about ready to score points himself.
So this jam will go the full 2 minutes. Neither jammer with lead.
Nice work by Quad and Dirty. Saw the spot to go and went right after it. Handrail will get 3 points on that one. 2 points taken away for a pass but no point. Handrail already re-engaging that vicious wall of three by the Misfits. 5 more points for the Misfits. They're clawing their way back into this one. 41-22 the current score. Gatekeepers still leading. Make it 45 up by the Gatekeepers. They're doubling up their opponent. 5 more stacked on for the Misfits.
And we have a Magic City player down on the inside of turn 1 and 2. That jam came to its natural conclusion. It was not due to the injury. Can't see who it is.
And Opie stands up, getting a round of applause from the crowd. He's a tough one. Skates off with some handshakes. And Hammer, something I may think about entering is the raffle baskets. I don't think we can win, though, so I don't think I'm going to enter, but I encourage you to enter. $1 gets you 1 ticket, $5 gets you 6 tickets. Goodies in the basket include Team USA men's uniform shirt and shorts, wheels from Roller Elite, $50 from Durbalife, and a 2014 collection of spring roll items and various team swag. That's available after the Your Mom versus Montreal bout on track 1 in the vendor area.
All right, we're about to get back underway. It's going to be Magnum PIMP on the line for the Gatekeepers. For Magic City, it's Michael Bratz. Had himself a good game yesterday against Race City. Sorry, Friday against Race City. Magnum PIMP gets out first. He is your lead jammer. Bled Zeppelin and Double XL working right now on Michael Bratz. Now just Bled Zeppelin. Some nice defensive cycling here by the Gatekeepers defense. And now we're going to have ourselves a penalty call, a low block on Michael Bratz. So power jam to Gatekeepers. And Magnum PIMP starts it off with a 5-point grand slam.
That's the call you often see on those collisions. One player to the ground. Saw PIMP try to jump the apex, fell out of bounds, set himself back in and called it off. Misfits right now showing that intensity. St. Louis locking down, however, 56-27. 21 minutes, 21 seconds to go in the first of two 30-minute periods. I'm Danny Mack alongside Star Spangled Hammer. We're worldwide on DerbyNewsNetwork.com.
Debaucherous Prime now on the line for the St. Louis Gatekeepers. He starts this jam unopposed as Michael Bratz sits in the penalty box.
Nice job by the Misfits. Vegeta dragging the Debaucherous Prime backwards. Vegeta doing the same thing with the pack of blockers, just working backwards. Stark out there as well, working hard for St. Louis. These teams both have that same MO. If you're going to block out of bounds, you better be prepared for that blocker to carry you back as far as they care to. And then on the meantime, if you're that jammer, you've got to work your way through all of his buddies trying to stop you and hold you up. Here comes Prime doing more work on the outside. Just got clobbered by Vegeta. Prime called for cutting the track, didn't reset behind the hit. So he will have 30 seconds to stew on it.
So power jam situation here now in favor of Magic City.
Michael Bratz working outside in. He is now in scoring position. Power jam opportunity for the Misfits. About 30 seconds remaining in the jam. Bratz hits the pack and crumbles down.
Tell you what, Michael Bratz took a bit of a tumble and went head first into Percy control, and he is not getting up.
Bratz in a lot of discomfort on the outside of the track. Stand up and remove himself as the trainers take a look at him. Give Bratz a round of applause. He's another tough, hard worker out there for the Misfits.
Like a bit of a bell ringer there.
Yeah, and you just see this abject denial of pain by the Misfits. They get hit, but nope, they're not going to tap the helmet. They're going to wait for somebody to call it off for them.
Yep. Now, Michael Bratz was on his way off the track or he was called for a blocking with the head. So Token will take a seat here as Michael Bratz now has to sit 3 jams. So Token will serve his penalty, and then once the penalty is ended, he will be coming out as the jammer. Meanwhile, Shane Bauer will start this jam off unopposed for the Gatekeepers. A bit of a messy first 10.5 minutes here. Lots of power jams. Good defense by both squads, however.
No question. Shane Bauer now trying to work on what started out as a 4-wall and has bridged apart to a 2-wall up front. Lead jammer, but he will be dragged back. Guy doing the dirty work there was Jason Mosley, pulling him back into the interior of the pack, and now the Misfits going back to work, 2-wall style, holding back the St. Louis jammer. Bauer now in some open space. Coming out of the penalty box for the Misfits is Token, the controlled chaos of Token, going at a 3-wall now 4-wall from the Gatekeepers. Token absorbs the blow, and he's in scoring position.
Well, I'll tell you what, this ref staff here this morning, they are calling this one tight. These two teams are going to have to really clean up their play, or it's going to be a game of numbers with players continually rotating in and out of the penalty box.
Yeah, they are exceptionally busy. 3 more points on the board for the Misfits. Extending their largest lead right now is 72-27, about 18 minutes to go in the first period. Coming to the line for St. Louis will be Handrail. He will oppose Kendall Hand.
3-on-3 pack as each team has one blocker in the box.
Misfits in green, Gatekeepers in white. Kendall Hand trying to go inside here, but faces stiff competition, blows past the Saint. That is not easy to do, as outwork the Saint at the front of the pack, but a lot of speed by Hand, and now the speed being shown by the Gatekeepers as Handrail has passed the lead jammer. Tap of the hips calls it off before the opposition reaches the pack. Good job by the Gatekeepers keeping their wits about them, allowing their jammer to get through, and doesn't always, you can get some wins there even if you don't have lead jammer. That's what St. Louis demonstrated. Magnum PIMP to the line. He's wearing the star for the Gatekeepers, and it'll be Quad and Dirty for the Misfits. Quad and Dirty goes to the inside, absorbs a couple of blows before getting hit in a little bit of jammer on jammer tussle.
Magnum PIMP finds a seam on the outside. He's going to get out. However, Quad and Dirty also out quickly. Oh, wow. Magnum with a nice little jump there at the end of the apex, picks up 4 points and a perfectly timed call off. You could see him entering the pack, ready to call that jam off.
St. Louis on a 30-0 run as we're nearing the midway point of the first period.
So it's Debaucherous Prime on the line now for the Gatekeepers, going against Token for Magic City. If you're just joining us at home on DNN, Gatekeepers in white, Magic City in green. Debaucherous Prime is going to be your lead jammer. Nice. Oh, Token almost stays in, but then slides out on turn 3 and has to cycle all the way back.
Forearm called on the Gatekeepers. That'll be Double XL leaving.
Meanwhile, Chef with an excellent play to cycle Debaucherous Prime all the way to the back of the pack.
Full lineup for the Misfits, and another penalty called on St. Louis. That'll send Stark to the box.
Yep, blocking out a play. Kyle Stark chased Token a little too far out into turn 1. Referee right on top of it, as they have been calling this one very tight.
The scoreless defensive streak continues for St. Louis. They're shutting the door on the Misfits. Typically a very powerful offense, but St. Louis has the blockers to do work, and they are doing just that. Misfits in green will send Kendall Hand to the line.
That's Shane Bauer out there for the Gatekeepers. A 4-on-2 pack advantage right now in favor of Magic City. However, the 2 blockers out there for St. Louis, Nat King Kill and Neil Death Experience. And Shane Bauer is able to get lead jammer. Meanwhile, Neil Death Experience doing a number. And now finished off by Nat King Kill.
Outstanding positional blocking by Nat King Kill to momentarily hold up Kendall Hand. The team did a lot of work there, but we were watching some great backwards skating, keeping the Misfits jammer in the crosshairs the entire time. 85-27, St. Louis over Magic City, and a timeout called by St. Louis.
I'll tell you what, Danny Mac, while we have seen some great offensive explosions so far this weekend, the defenses have been absolutely top-notch as well, with long stretches of no points for teams we've seen. It's just been an absolute clinic going on out here. If you want some tape to go look at how to block, man, there have been some really good games this weekend.
Now, 22 teams have shown up for this spring roll this year, and we've seen men's teams getting it done, women's teams getting it done. But you're right. I mean, tournaments like this is where you get to see a variety of things. You don't just watch, well, you get to watch some sexy moves by Heath Frazier. There he goes. Get it. Get it, big boy. Yep. So you got moves on the track, you got moves off the track, and you've got some great derby. That all adds up to a nice spring roll 2014. 85-27, St. Louis over Magic City. Back to the action after that timeout. The Misfits will send to the line Beastie. And I don't believe we've seen Beastie jamming yet for the team in green.
So Handrail gets out first. However, no point, no pass. So he will not be lead jam. So lead jam still up for grabs here. And Magic City gets it. Calls a jam off.
3 points for the Misfits, extending this scoreless drought for Magic City. You got to see what Magic City is going to do to shake this one up. Quad and Dirty coming to the line. He will be opposed by Magnum, P-I-M-P.
Empty penalty box, both teams at full strength.
This jam brought to you by Vital Skates. We know Derby because we do Derby.
So Quad and Dirty forcing Magnum PIMP out, and then is going to try to skate him all the way around. Magnum PIMP doesn't have to return to play, so he's just going to stand there and wait.
Well, Quad and Dirty's kind of in that bad area where you can't go and engage the pack. You can't work your way through. I mean, you can, but you're facing that whole gatekeeper defense. So Magnum PIMP is also walking a line here where, because he blocked him out of bounds, he's trying to draw him back, but everybody's just stopped, and it's just going to be a clock working situation.
Yeah, not real sure about the strategy here when Magic City's down by 61 points. Running time off the clock like this, I'm not sure the mindset there.
Finally, Quad and Dirty just went for it, got out of the pack. And maybe Quaden wasn't hit out of bounds, and I think PIMP realized that and was just hanging out. Maybe no strategy was even at play other than to wait for Pimp.
So no points.
Quad and Dirty wanted a point, will not get it.
Has a whole lot of standing around and then no points to show for it.
And a whole lot of clock worked off, over a minute. Worked away by St. Louis, who leads 88-27.
So Debaucherous Prime now on the line for the Gatekeepers, going up against the return of Michael Bratz, 27 for Magic City. Good to see him back out there. Oh, Debaucherous Prime, so elusive on that outside line, and he's going to be your lead jammer. Michael Bratz, meanwhile, being hemmed in by the Saint, now joined by Percy Control.
Beautiful work done up front. The Saint, last blocker to try to go after Michael Bratz, but Bratz finally fought his way through a lot of precision and a lot of persistence to work through the Saint.
4 points there for the Gatekeepers.
Persephone's Treasures, get your official 2014 Spring Roll shirt at Persephone's Treasures. You can do that here in-house, but find out more about Persephone's Treasures.
On the line now, Shane Bauer for the Gatekeepers going up against number 21, Kendall Hand for Magic City. Shane Bauer's out first, but does not pass everyone cleanly, so he will not be lead jam. That's still up for grabs. Oh, big hit on spin against Spin Diesel by Mike Kendall Hand. Kendall Hand does get lead jammer.
The Misfits control the pace. And we may see the hit it and quit it move as we do from Kendall Hand. And the Misfits are on the board. 2 points for the team from Jacksonville. 1 point from the Gatekeepers.
5 points there for St. Louis, however.
Yeah, 1 point on that last pass. So Magic City breaking a long scoring drought, somewhere in the neighborhood of 7 game minutes. 93 for St. Louis, 29 for Magic City.
Next up, it'll be handrail out there for the Gatekeepers against Token for Magic City. Strong 3-wall up front right now by the Gatekeepers. Gatekeepers down a blocker as Bled Zeppelin sits in the penalty box. Token thought he had a little bit of daylight, was then forced inside. Handrail still working against a strong 3-wall of Magic City. Heath Frazier anchoring that line right now. Finally, Handrail gets free, and he's going to be your lead jammer. That was a whole lot of work, over 30 seconds off the jam clock just to establish lead jammer.
Meanwhile, Token getting fearsome and getting knocked to the ground by Percy Control, who draws a penalty on the way. Token set free, he's in scoring position. Vegeta going after the St. Louis Gatekeepers handrail, drawing him back in the action. Token getting clobbered by the Saint. Token gets back up, falls down. Saint goes backwards. Track cut called on Token. He'll have to take the long way around.
The Gatekeepers bench screaming for handrail to call it for the last 30 or so seconds.
3 points for the Misfits, 4 points for the Gatekeepers.
So now Magnum PIMP going to take the line. Gatekeepers down a blocker. Power jam start here for Magnum PIMP.
Frustration mounting for the Misfits. You're seeing the mouths begin to open up, and generally that's a tough position to be. 97-32 they trail against the Gatekeepers.
Nice work by Chef there, forcing Magnum on the outside and cycles him all the way back. Oh, nice. Walking the tightrope on the outside as Magnum PIMP. He is going to be your lead jammer.
Token still in the box for the Misfits.
Nice little spinorama there by Magnum PIMP.
Token actually drew 2 penalties on that one. We saw the track cut. I believe a legal procedure also called after that. So 2 total penalties give the Misfits that 1 minute of time to think about what they've done, but just watching Magnum PIMP go to work.
Christopher Smith now anchoring the defensive core for Magic City. Magnum PIMP, however, with another 5 points as Token returns to play. Power jam ends. Gatekeepers back to full strength. Magic City down a blocker in the form of Chef, who sits in the penalty box, and now a track cut call on Token, so he's going to head back to the penalty box. This Magic City team has been plagued by jammer penalties so far here in the first half.
They have Token drawing a boatload of them. At least 4 penalties, maybe more total for a very, very powerful jammer. They lost him in the last one due to fouling out. 5 minutes to go in the first period. It's St. Louis 117, Magic City 32. The upcoming jam brought to you by Backspin Wheels. Debaucherous
Prime gets through, and he is going to be your lead jammer. 4-on-3 pack advantage right now for the Gatekeepers. Gatekeepers setting up at the bridge as Chef returns to play.
Grand slam for the Gatekeepers. Token rejoins the party.
Gatekeepers bench really not happy about that last call.
90-point lead for St. Louis. Misfits Token. Ducking right, ducking left, trying to go around, finally gets his way around the Saint. Saint as good as a one-on-one blocker as you will see in the entire country. 3 points for the Gatekeepers. Under 4 minutes to go. And I talked a little bit about backspin wheels. New for 2014, our new backspin derby specific line. Check out our new Mayhem, Synergy, and Phenom wheels. Keep your roll with our precision aluminum hub, but still get the grip with our unique urethane. As always, a lifetime guarantee from Backspin Wheels.
So that's number 2 out there, quad and dirty for Magic City. He's going up against Shane Bauer for the Gatekeepers.
St. Louis not only controlling the scoreboard, but kind of controlling the strategy of this game. It looks like the Misfits are sort of in their realm. Lead jammer by Shane Bauer. Misfits trying to punch their jammer through. That's quad and dirty. Quad's had some success, but he has been facing just a stiff competition up front. In this case, it's being led by Bled Zeppelin. 5 more points for the Gatekeepers.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Gatekeepers may have a whole lot of points right now, but every single one of them have been extremely hard-earned. Physicality abounds here with Magic City.
And the star pass goes to Christopher Smith. Smith now nearly tangling up with the St. Louis jammer. Full strength for the Misfits.
Appears Shango is going into a defensive mode here to try to kill that penalty on Spin Diesel. Not quite able to hold it long enough, so Spin stands. Good awareness there by Shane Bauer, however, as he sees his blocker sitting there in the penalty box and goes into defensive mode to try to run the clock out. And here we have a big one here. Heath Frazier is going to jam for Magic City against Handrail for the Gatekeepers. I do so love seeing the big men jam.
That's right. Frazier's going to have a good time with this one. Physical, but he's got some agility. And right away, St. Louis just swarms around Frazier. Derby's often a leverage game, and for these big men, you got to get low and you've got to be able to work around. As St. Louis attempting to spread the distance of this pack as they're knocking Frazier out of bounds. Back up onto his handrail as he dips himself around Christopher Harrell and gets 5 points. Harrell and Chef, the uppermost blockers for the Misfits.
Boy, Frazier goes down hard coming out of turn 2, and he's going to cycle all the way back now by Kyle Stark. Handrail, meanwhile, working on his second scoring pass.
Penalty for St. Louis. It's Percy control and a power jam situation for the Misfits, who have passed the star to Michael Bratz. So that means Frazier goes back to a more familiar role of blocker as Bratz goes to the inside, got past Stark, and took 5 points from St. Louis. Magic City, 37 points. Looking for more. Here comes Bratz on the inside.
So Magic City is going to end this half on a high note with some points here.
Bratz grabs another grand slam. 10 points for the Misfits. The star pass very effective, and the penalty kill somewhat effective for the Gatekeepers, but to get 10 points on that one, very, very big for the Misfits.
Power jam comes to an end. And now so does the half. 4 points there, however, for the Gatekeepers to end that jam.
A very, very strong finish to this one. St. Louis, however, leading by a full 100 points, 144 to 44, and a 15-minute break upcoming. Got a lot of derby left this afternoon here in Fort Wayne. We're at the War Memorial Coliseum, Allen County. I'm Danny Mack with Star Spangled Hammer. We're also worldwide on DerbyNewsNetwork.com.
City, I am Star Spangled Hammer alongside me, Danny Mack.
Penalties, part of the story from the first half, and we'll start with some of the penalty woes of Magic City. Token with 4 penalties, Chef has 3, and for the Gatekeepers, Double XL 3 penalties, Bled Zeppelin also 3.
Those St. Louis Gatekeepers big men drawing the penalties.
And really, until you dig in the numbers, it seemed way more, the penalty numbers seemed a lot more prolific than they actually were, especially for Magic City Token's in some trouble with the 4, Chef with 3, but aside from that, they've kind of spread the penalty blame out, so to speak, throughout the whole team.
Yeah, the real kicker, though, is those 4 penalties for Token, all jammer penalties. So those are huge on the scoreboard.
Magnum PIMP, he's in white for the Gatekeepers to jam.
It's 21.
Against Kendall Hand. Hand in green with white trim. That is slight difference from the rest of the team. Magic City wearing white and gold.
For those of you watching at home, the jam has begun. Oh, Magnum PIMP with a nice spin move at the apex of turns 1 and 2, and he is going to be your lead jammer. Kendall Hand still fighting at the back of the pack.
Yeah, Double XL really giving Kendall Hand some issues. Dragging him back earlier, now more toe-to-toe blocking.
Meanwhile, the Gatekeepers steal that outside line, and Magnum PIMP just guns it. Percy Control takes a big hit from Kendall Hand. And Magnum calls that jam off after picking up 3 more points, so I believe that was 8 points total.
It is, and the Gatekeepers starting right where they left off, 152 to 44. Little over a minute of the game clock taken off. The second period, we're in the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum in Fort Wayne, Indiana for Spring Roll 2014. 22 teams descending upon the Summit City for a lot of very, very good roller derby.
Oh, nice move by Debaucherous Prime, walking that outside line. Meanwhile, the Gatekeepers stymieing Magic City's block jammer. And now we're going to see, a misconduct. So a power jam here for Debaucherous Prime. Gatekeepers trying to trap 24 at the back of the pack for Magic City.
And doing a great job. And they're sicking all 4 of their men on him. And now the current victim happens to be Christopher Smith, who drew a penalty and will be leaving.
So power jam comes to an end as the Gatekeepers take control of the back of the pack. Debaucher's Prime calls that jam off. Picks up 3 more.
170 to 44, the current score with 27 minutes to go in this game. Vital Skates has clearance wheels. If you're available here in Fort Wayne, check out the Vital Skates booth for clearance wheels. We know Derby because we do Derby.
I have a hard time calling that a booth. It's really a full store.
It is. Corbin rolled up the Mack truck and dropped off everything in the store, it seems.
So we're back in action here. Shane Bauer on the line for the Gatekeepers, going up against number 37. Sorry, 27. No, that's not 27. 37, sorry. Beastie. I was right first time. Shane Bauer going to be your lead jammer.
Gatekeepers not messing around again, getting lead jammer. And a penalty called on Beastie, a power jam for St. Louis, trying to put some more space between them and the Misfits.
Low block called as Beastie went down. Took a skate out from underneath Quadable Hulk.
Oh, nice move. Nice deftness on his feet by Shane Bauer. Working around Christopher Smith, who looked like he had him pretty well handled. Bauer going after it again, going to the inside. Now going the power route. Trying to force his way through a very tough group of Magic City defenders.
So now Magic City eventually has to let Shane Bauer go.
Yeah, it looks like Chef didn't want to let him go. Chef thought he still had a little bit of space to work. Bowers taps the hips, calls it off, racks up 2 more points, giving St. Louis 182, Magic City 44, 5 minutes gone in the second. Fans will be awarding a Jammer MVP and a Blocker MVP at the end of the game. That's courtesy of Jam Printing and Promotions. For all your fun Derby merch, exclusive merch rep of the Race City Rebels. That's Jam Printing and Promotions, sponsoring our individual game MVP bandanas. Check out their Blow Me shirts. Stop by and pick up your Derby decals and Rebel Alliance merchandise.
Their what shirts?
Blow me. No, that's what the shirt says. I'm not telling you that.
Okay.
Derby skins. It's a Derby Girls world. We just live in it. Stop by and see all the shiny goodies. Derby skins. Sponsoring our hospitality room for all our wonderful volunteers is A Cut Above Lawn. Bacon. That is all. Yes, they provided bacon. So if you've ever considered volunteering at a spring roll, I highly recommend it if you're a bacon lover.
I have some halftime stats here, courtesy of Muckety Muck back in St. Louis. Scoring for the Gatekeepers, Magnum had 48 in the first half, Shane Bauer 37, Debaucher's Prime 31, and Handrail 24. So thanks again, Muckety Muck, for really paying attention at home.
182 for St. Louis, 44 for Magic City. As the timeout continues, referees getting everything squared away. And we've got another great one coming up after this. Connecticut versus Glasgow. The women will take over after the men clear the track here. CT Roller Girls facing Glasgow, who both of these teams have been delightful to watch this weekend. If you are kind of the Midwest region as I am, I don't get to see the international teams very often in person, nor do I get to see the East Coast teams very often. And those two teams have played some eye-opening Derby.
I'll tell you what, Danny Mac, what else is really cool is, for those of you in attendance, if you have not had a chance yet, the Glasgow Roller Girls actually have merch here that they have brought with them. It is fantastic. So definitely go over and support those ladies who spent a lot of money to come all the way here for Spring Roll.
Vanilla Derby proudly supports 2014 Spring Roll Tournament. From fresh meat to vets, Vanilla Derby is there for all your skating needs. Get the performance and quality you expect at a fraction of the price. Check us out at vanillaskates.com. That's Vanilla Derby. And they'll be awarding 4 sets of backspin wheels, and these are for MVPs of the entire weekend. 1 to Spring Roll MVP from the WFTDA, 1 to Spring Roll MVP blocker from the WFTDA, and then the jammer and blockers from the MRDA.
Hey, Danny Mac, you want some DVDs of this weekend's action?
Yes.
You can get those from Hinckley Productions. They're putting great care into video because we know how much you care about watching Derby. Broadcasting Derby since 2008. You can get DVDs at hinkleyproductions.com/springroll. Not sure what's going on here, but now Magnum PIMP is sitting in a penalty box.
Well, to give us an opportunity to talk about backspin wheels, new for 2014, our new backspin roller derby specific line. Lifetime guarantee from Backspin Wheels.
So handrail jamming for the Gatekeepers, going up against Michael Bratz for Magic City. 4-on-2 pack advantage in favor of Magic City. Bled Zeppelin with a nice force out. And Michael Bratz is going to be your lead jammer.
And a 4 spot put up by the Misfits. Big 4 points for Michael Bratz.
Handrail also back around and scoring now.
St. Louis matches the output there, 4 points. Bratz still fighting hard. Got knocked to the inside, has to reset back farther. Penalty for St. Louis.